Yo, yo, yo. What is up, guys? Major Spectre here, back to bring you another video. Today, as you can see from the title, we are going to be doing my top 10 video games. This was made a little bit ago. Honorable mention for a start, because I don't know where to put it on this list. But Pokemon Sun and Moon. If you don't have the game, highly recommend. As someone who really enjoys 3rd gen, let me just say that it's hard to beat 3rd gen, and Sun and Moon is very close, if not beating that. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Go into it without expecting anything, because if you expect it to be like X and Y or better than X and Y, then your expectations are going to be dashed. Just expect nothing and just play the game. So, yeah, that's that. So, first of all, we have number 10 being Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. It's a turn-based strategy combat game in Lord of the Rings. If anyone has ever played Final Fantasy, the early Final Fantasies, like 7, I don't know really much about Final Fantasy, because I haven't, actually, sat down and played it, but I do know that I do enjoy RPGs. I do enjoy anything that has to deal with strategy and thinking, and this game delivers on that. It basically goes through a alternate party of Lord of the Rings, and you fight a bunch of different enemies and stuff, and it's just really cool and really in depth, and I just love every world seems different. The graphics aren't that great because it's a PS2 game, but it's just a lot of fun, and I enjoyed playing it as a kid. Never actually beat it, but I got to... what did I get? Oh god, I don't remember where I got to. I think I got to Helm's Deep. I'm not entirely sure. And if you don't know what Helm's Deep is, watch the movies or read the books. Actually, read the books, then watch the movies. Because the books are better than the movies, even though the movies are great. So yeah, definitely recommend. Next, the best Mario Kart of all time, Mario Kart Double Dash. It's easily the most unique Mario Kart game in the entire franchise. So as you can see down in the bottom screen, you can choose 2 characters, and those 2 characters have unique karts. They have unique attributes and unique speeds and stuff. I always used to use Yoshi and Koopa, because they have really good stats across the board. I think they have like 3-4 stars together. I don't remember. It's been forever, and I never actually owned a GameCube, so I would just go to friends' houses and play this, and a game that you'll see later on the list. And I just remember having so much fun. You guys probably could tell from my top 10 sports video that I really enjoy racing. Call me, neat dirt NASCAR, hit the dirt, heat. But I actually genuinely enjoy racing, and if you don't agree, then that's fine. It's spilled milk, it doesn't matter. But yeah, Mario Kart Double Dash, easily the best Mario Kart game that Nintendo has ever made, and just play it, or find some way to play it, and you will understand why. Oh, and another thing I didn't talk about is that every single combination of characters have a unique kart, which has its own stats and affects certain things, and they all have different interactions and different animations depending on who you use. It's really cool. It's really cool. Plus, Diddy Kong, Koopa and Flying Koopa, and Toadette, You don't ever see them in a Mario Kart game. Not even Birdo. I don't even think Birdo's in any other Mario Kart game. Kind of makes me upset, though, because my boy, Dry Bones, isn't in here. But that's the only qualm I have about. Because I always play as Dry Bones. So next we have Super Mario 64. Huge nostalgia. And I never actually beat this game as a kid, just because I was stupid. And Pokemon was much easier for me than Mario. But you can't go wrong with Super Mario 64. It's such a nostalgic game for the franchise. The Nintendo 64 is arguably the best Nintendo console of all time, and it has some of my favorite musical themes from Mario ever. Specifically, over on the right-hand side, you see the world known as Dire Dire Docks, which is just a beautiful, beautiful sound, and it's just iconic for me. There was a song for my piano lessons. There was a song that my instructor started playing, and I was like, it sounds like Dire Dire Docks. And any time that something is, there are certain themes in games that I can recognize what they sound like immediately, even if they're not directly represented. If it's similar, I'm like, oh, that sounds like, for instance, Dire Dire Docks. And if you don't know, I'm not going to play it because I'm pretty sure it's copyrighted, but go on YouTube or look it up somewhere and look up the Dire Dire Docks theme if you don't know what it is, because it is very beautiful and I love it very much. Next we have Call of Duty Black Ops. Now, I'm a big fan of... I play a lot of first-person shooters, and I make an argument that depending on how the game is, depending on what the story is, and depending on how balanced all the weapons are. Now, some of you might have played Black Ops 1, and you'll be like, oh, the game isn't balanced, snipers are terrible. That's the thing. You had to be a good sniper to win a gunfight in Call of Duty. In Black Ops 1, anytime I would get killed by a sniper, it would be because they were better than me, not because they happened to be aiming down sights and just killed me. Because a lot of the snipers, I think all but one, all of the snipers you had to get a headshot to kill unless they were previously damaged. So it took skill. You couldn't just peer around a corner and kill a guy and long shot people with SMGs. The SMGs were arguably pretty weak. Everyone used pretty much assault rifles or shotguns, which I'm fine with. I mean, I'm an SMG player, so I always made it work. But if you guys remember, I was level 22 in the game, and I got the game really late. I mean, I played it at my friend's house, my friend and my cousin's house all the time, but I wasn't like good because I didn't remember any of the maps. And I went 26-0 at level 22, and I had a kill death ratio of 1.2. Currently, I think I have a kill death ratio of 2.7, and I know that's not much because I didn't really play the game in its heyday, but it's the Call of Duty I have the most fun with. It's the Call of Duty that I'm the best at, and so therefore it's my favorite, and it deserves a place on this list because I'm a huge history buff, and the period has a really interesting and really intriguing story, and most of the guns are really balanced. The bullet damage is really low, which if the bullet damage is low, it's skill, not reaction time or luck. If you're more skilled than your opponent, you will kill them. So that's that's why I like Black Ops 1 more than any other Call of Duty. Next we have Pokemon Stadium. Like I said, Nintendo 64. Specifically Pokemon Stadium 2. I only got to play it a handful of times, but it's still, I remember having friends come over, and sometimes they would bring Pokemon Stadium 2 because one of my friends had it. And we would just spend hours upon hours just messing around, battling each other, and it was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, my cousin it's technically his, but he allowed me to have it, and he took it back, I want to say 3 years ago. He took it back 3 years ago and then accidentally left it in a friend's basement, and I'm assuming the friend either still has it or sold it, which makes me sad because Pokemon Stadium 2 and the original Mario Party and the original Mario Kart and Mario 64 were all there, and those were games that I really loved playing. So that is unfortunate, but Pokemon Stadium, you know, I'm a big fan of Pokemon, so that's why Pokemon Stadium is here. Next we have Hearthstone. Now, if you would have talked to me right after the Goblins vs. Gnomes expansion came out, I would have said that this game is probably my second favorite game of all time. And now that I've played a lot more of the game and more expansions have come out, I noticed some glaring issues, and I'm not gonna go into depth with them. If you want to know why Hearthstone is lower than I would have said it would be, I'm gonna put a link in the description. Go to Kriparian's YouTube channel and watch a bunch of his videos. He will explain, especially card reveal and discussion videos. He'll explain, and even his live streams, he does a good job explaining the meta of the game, does a good job explaining his actions during the game, and him streaming helped me become a better player. Now, I'm completely free to play because poor college student, but if I had the capabilities to have every single card in the game, I would probably, and the time to play as much as I would like to, I could probably be rank 5? Like, I consider myself an above average player, and even though I don't have the time to prove that, and the card quality to prove that, it's just, I give a lot of my understanding of the game and a lot of my strategery, if you will, to Crip. So, Crip, you probably won't ever watch this, but thank you. So, that's that. And then we have number 4, nostalgic game. I never actually had this game until recently. So, Salamaster, when I come home from Christmas break, bring your PS2 over. We're gonna fucking smash this game. It's a Demolition Derby racing game with really insane physics, and it has a bunch of different cars, a bunch of different paint schemes. The career mode is pretty interesting. I mean, it's not the best, but it's pretty good. Like I said, I played thousands of hours of this game when I was a little kid, and so it's just crazy. Like the little things that it offers is really fun, and it's just a unique experience. If you don't know what this game can offer, if I get a graphics card and I can have Jordan allow me to borrow his PS2, which he probably won't do, but that's fine. I will do a Let's Play, but if not, go just type in Test Drive Eevee Destruction, watch a couple of Let's Plays, or watch a Let's Play. I'm not gonna ask you to spend hours of your life watching it, but just, I can't explain why I love this game. You just kind of have to experience it for yourself. And yes, I know, once again, PS2 game was made in like 2002, 2003, something like that. So it's not good graphics, but I really love the soundtrack, and it kind of, without being too intensive, it kind of absorbs you into the world of the game, and you're like, oh shit, well, if I wreck, I'm gonna lose. Like, there's no way to turn off the damage system, which means if you die, you lose. Unfortunately, I wish that there were an option to do endurance races, but there isn't, unfortunately. So that's a qualm, but save that for another day. So next, we have the Elder Scrolls, one of the most, if not the most, arguably lore-intensive game. The fact that it is a massive free roam world, and the fact that there are multiple maps, and not even there are parts of the world of Nirn, which I'm not going to really talk about lore, but it's basically the world that the Elder Scrolls lives on. And the main part you see on your screen is the main world that is recognized, but there is a world to the north, and there is a world to the east and west, and these worlds are even more mysterious than this world, the main world that is shown. There are multiple eras, there are thousands of years, and a lot of the story is not given to you. You have to find books in the game and read them to understand the story. And not only that, as a first/third person slasher, beat 'em up RPG, I don't know what you want to call it, but it is just, I can play any type of character and not get bored. It's one of those games, especially Skyrim. Now, some people argue that Oblivion is better than Skyrim. I've only played Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim, and I've played the most of Skyrim. And I can say that probably because I haven't played that much, I do enjoy Skyrim more. But I'm not gonna argue with people over that. It's one of those games that if you call yourself a gamer, you cannot call yourself a gamer until you play something of the Elder Scrolls. It's one of those iconic franchises that is just beautiful, and Bethesda is one of my favorite companies, and I'm super excited and crossing my fingers for Elder Scrolls 6, which I don't know what they're gonna call it. I don't know where it's gonna be. I'm kind of hoping for Black Marsh. I don't know what they would call that. Probably just Black Marsh, but I feel like it might be Elsewhere or Valenwood, which I'm not gonna get into the lore. Black Marsh, you can assume what that's gonna be. Not really Elsewhere. Valenwood, you can assume what that's gonna be. So yeah, that's that. Number two, Kingdom Hearts. Oh my boy. Kingdom Hearts. Just get yourself a PS3 or a PS4 and play the final mixes. Final Mix 1, Final Mix 2, Final Mix 2.8. Play them. Because this story, it might not necessarily have the best gameplay. I will give it that. But the story is so immersive that I know what happens in the story, in every single story, and I am on the edge of my seat anytime I play. Even though I know the story, and even though I know what's going to happen, I am still on the edge of my seat because the story is that damn good. It is so good. Like, I can't even describe anything without giving any spoilers. But just play the game. Watch someone play the game intensively. Don't pay attention to the words they're saying. Pay attention to the story of the game. And really think. Square Enix and Disney together made a beautiful masterpiece. And I'm so bummed that I don't have a PS4 because I can't play Kingdom Hearts 2.8 and I can't play Kingdom Hearts 3 whenever it comes out sometime next year. I think in the spring? Sometime next spring is when it comes out. And I'm bummed I can't play it. But you best believe I'm going to be watching people stream it because this game series is the best. It is the best series, and I don't care what anyone says. It is my favorite series of all time, and nothing will ever beat it. You're wondering, why is it number 2? Well, because the games are number 2. There is one game that I will hold accountable for the best game of all time, and that is the one and only Pokemon XD. So, as you'll see, a lot of this on here is nostalgia, just because, you know, everyone has their nostalgia moments. So that's why a lot of people are Gen 1. It's like, oh, Gen 1's the best gen. It's the one that's on Pokemon Go. And every other gen is stupid. They're running out of ideas. They're making ice cream. Gen 1, Muck is liquid feces. Shut up. But anyways, as you can see, Jordan, you're welcome. I put Salamence and Metagross on the screen. And this has a really good story. Like I said, I think it has a better story than Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, which are really great stories in their own right, but I personally don't think it holds a candle to Sun and Moon, but purely for nostalgia and purely for the fact that it's all double battles and the fact that there are shadow Pokemon and interesting ways that you can mash those up together, and it's just so unique. Like, if they remade Pokemon XD, I would die. I would cry. It'd be so beautiful. So I can't really explain it. Once again, watch a Let's Play. Pay attention to the story. I don't think it's even going to be the same. It's not going to be the same if you watch a Let's Play. You just need to somehow get your hands on a ROM hack, or if you have a GameCube, find a way to buy this game. Find a way, because it's definitely worth whatever money you spend for it. And it is the best Pokemon game of all time. And I don't care who you are. But without further ado, that is it. As you probably can guess, it's the sequel to Pokemon XD is the sequel to Coliseum, but it's not as good. But I'm gonna get the hell up out of here, and I will see you guys later. Don't worry, this wasn't the surprise that I promised. The surprise that I promised is taking longer than I thought it would, so keep your eyes peeled for a surprise that is going to be hopefully great. I don't know how it's going to be because it's the first project that I have, but hopefully it's great. I'll give you a spoiler. It's not like any of the other videos that I've done in the past. So, be prepared for that, and I will see you guys later. And this is Major, out.